Hey folks, Nick here from AnotherBooktuber channel, and today I'll be reviewing Have Spacesuit Will Travel by Robert Heinlein. I took a long break from Robert Heinlein because his books started to grate on my nerves a little bit. His depictions of women in particular always really frustrated me because they're always like incredibly beautiful and like absurdly brilliant geniuses with great careers, and they are always like, they immediately just want to give it all away so that they can make babies with the male protagonist that they've been waiting for their entire life. I decided to give Heinlein another shot, and I figured Have Spacesuit Will Travel was probably a pretty good bet, as this is technically one of his juvenile novels for younger readers, and so I figured, okay, he's going to leave sex out of it completely. But then again, this is the guy that wrote Time Enough for Love, which is a story about a man who bangs his way through the space-time continuum with the ultimate goal of having sex with his own mother. So really, with Heinlein, anything is possible. Have Spacesuit Will Travel takes place in the distant future, the 1960s, after Earth has developed a regular presence on the moon. Kip Russell is about to graduate high school, and while his other fellow students might have their sights on college, he's got his set on the stars, and he'll do anything that it takes to reach the moon. After winning a junked spacesuit in a jingle writing contest for a soap company, Kip spends his whole summer bringing the suit back to working order, and in the ultimate example of manifesting your dreams, is promptly abducted by aliens and finds his fantasies are about to come true. Though it had been a while since I'd read a Heinlein book, I was immediately reminded of all his usual character tropes here. All of the male characters are excessively in charge and like emotionless computing machines, while the female characters are all impossibly brilliant, yet very passive to the dominant male character. Sure, she'll crack jokes and she'll rib him once in a while, but under no circumstances will she ever show him up or take the lead. Heinlein writes books for boys in the 1950s, and it just doesn't read very well or interestingly in 2023. I think Andy Weir must have found this book inspirational in some way, as it reads like a much more sterile version of like Project Hail Mary. Kip's adventures in space are full of really long scientific explanations and formulas, but unlike Weir, Heinlein's writing style is distinctly lacking in that charm and humor necessary to make that not boring as hell. Which is really a shame, because this does have all the makings of a thrilling space adventure for a young audience. The moon is only Kip's first stop on his journey, and he encounters multiple alien species that are distinct and really fun. The first species is only referred to as the worm faces, and while they are horrid to look at, they seem to have the ability to compel obedience in anyone who looks directly at them. Kip and another captured human, a preteen girl named Pee-wee, who's also a genius of course, are aided by a vegan. No, not one of these vegans, one of these vegans. A marsupial-looking creature from the planet Vega 5. Vegans communicate with like birdsong using musical notes, but they have no trouble making themselves be understood by the humans. These are fun ideas, but Heinlein's prose is such a relic of its time period that I just feel like those ideas die on the table. Maybe this was riveting entertainment for teenage boys in the 50s, but thinking about longevity, his dry style is better suited to his adult books. I couldn't imagine a teenager today picking this up and finding it captivating. And I don't think that an adult today would find it very interesting because the formula has been done better, and the characters here aren't strong or memorable enough to make it stand on its own. Have Spacesuit Will Travel is not the worst Heinlein book I've ever read, and despite all the negative things I've said about it, I didn't dislike it, I just felt nothing for it. This book exists. That's about as much as I can say about it. My arbitrary and subjective grade for Have Spacesuit Will Travel is 4 out of 10. Do with that what you will. If you've read this book, let me know your thoughts about it in the comments. Thank you for spending some time with me today, but now it's time to get back to reading.